Hey, what's up, everybody? BDF44 coming at you in another video. All right, so this is Kobe Day. Simple and plain. August 24th, 2022. This is Kobe Bryant's birthday. And we miss him, man. We miss him here um, on Earth. I don't think there's too many people that that are part of any Laker or NBA organization that doesn't have a great deal of appreciation for the legacy of Kobe Bryant. I can't think of too many worth their salt who feel otherwise. Kobe has done more than enough to earn our respect on the court, and I loved who he became off the court. I did. I love what I saw there. He is one of the most fantastic examples of how a player can be as dedicated and obsessed over a game as anyone, and can walk away from it and find that passion elsewhere and still excel with those same work ethic uh, tendencies. And I gotta say, man, he was the best I'd seen at that. I was always worried that Kobe was gonna have a hard time after retirement because of how much he poured into the game, how much time he put into it, the legend of his work ethic and dedication. It just seemed to me that there was no way he was gonna transition out of the game. And he did, into his storytelling, into various things, got himself an Oscar. And that's always a story I love to tell when talking about Kobe Bryant, because we all know what he did on the court, but to be able to turn that off and still find it in yourself to be excellent, I don't think it's easy. I don't think that's easy. So I want to acknowledge that. I also want to acknowledge today, I really want to send good energy, of course, to the Bryant family. I understand that Vanessa Bryant is right now going through the process of trying to fight for uh, the honor of Kobe's dignity and their family's dignity and all of the victims' dignity in regards to the case that they're facing, and how awful it is. And I just want to send good energy their way. I'm rooting for them to succeed. I'm rooting for justice to prevail. I like that I saw Miss Monica and Miss Sierra next to Mrs. Bryant in the situation when they were walking into the courtroom. I saw a picture of that last night before I went to sleep, and I just understood. That's what it's all about, man. Having friendship and having a support system that can back you, people that can back you and have your back, even though you may have this, you know what I mean, in terms of strength. It's always good to see people who are in your corner, who are willing to go to battle for you, who will, take time out of their day in their busy schedule and take a second to say, let's stand for you and let's make sure that what's best for you is given. So I just love seeing the sisterhood there, and the support system surrounding Mrs. Vanessa Bryant. Um, just all in all, man, I can make videos about Kobe all day long, think about memories of his game. It's just not where my head went for some reason this morning, but I can tell you that watching him play the game was awe-inspiring a good portion of the time. I mean, you didn't see yourself watching Kobe Bryant not saying, wow. One of the moments that stand out for me is just watching him against Seattle one year at home, and he broke the three-point record that was at the time, I think, stood at like 11 or something like that. I don't remember. Kobe wasn't a three-point shooter. That's the thing. This is not like you're sitting there watching Ray Allen or a Steph Curry type shooter break a three-point record. No. Kobe Bryant was a solid shot-making three-point shooter who was starting to stretch his game out there more so at that point. That's what I think was happening. I think he had gotten into that phase in his career where he was dedicating more time to the three-point shot, and he was letting it fly. That's just a guess. I have no idea. But it seemed to me that he was unleashing what he had been working on, and he just broke the record. He just let them fly, one after another. I'm sitting there watching with Mom, like, he didn't hit like 3 threes in a row, Mommy. Yeah, he's going off. And then here we go. Boom, he hits another one. Is he trying to break a record or something? Because back then that's not normal. You gotta go for 5 3-pointers in a game. You're like, what the heck just happened back then? Now that's kind of normal. But back then, especially for a guy that doesn't shoot, you're like, he just hit 6 of them. And he keeps going, and he just keeps locking them knocking them down. Boom, lighting them up after a while. He ends up with 12, I believe. At one point, he had like 9 made in a row. He was going for the record in consecutive made at the time. He didn't quite get that. But it was at one point, I think he was like maybe 10 out of 12. And I think he missed a couple after that. And brought the percentage down a little bit. But he broke the record. He walked away with 12 of them, if I'm not mistaken. And Donyell Marshall later tied that record a year or two later. And then somebody else from there broke it again. But at the time, that was one of the most impressive things I had seen, because I knew Kobe wasn't no three-point shooter. I knew that. And it got to a point where we're sitting there like, he hit another one. Like, he's doing this. He's doing something. And, you know, it's just a regular game. I don't remember what night it was on, but it felt like a Friday night game. We're just sitting there watching the Lakers on the Sonics, and nothing special. Just another game. And he just turned just another game into a moment that I'm still thinking about to this very second. And he did it a lot. He did it against Dallas on the road when we came back from, what was it, almost 29 points. I'll never forget it. I just left my homeboy Steven in the Sepulveda's house, thinking about my boy Steven, rest in peace. He and I was watching the game. My homeboy Keontae were all in the room watching the game, had to leave because it was time to go home. You know, we were kids, so it was time to go home, and the game wasn't over. Lakers were down by like 30, man. And I left there knowing we was losing. By the time I got home, and I didn't live too far away, probably about an hour away. By the time I got home, we were only down by like 2. And Kobe was going off and never looked back, and we won the game. And I remember going back watching the replay and seeing us have the, you know, the comeback and everything. That's what he did. This is what he did. You know, you think a lead is safe, and he starts going into Mamba mode, and you're down. You know, it's that simple. I remember the double dunk. I call it a double dunk on Brooklyn. I think it was Gerald Wallace, and I don't know who else was under there, but they got dunked on real bad. Obviously, 81 against Toronto. 63 and 3/4. I think it was against the Grizzlies. I don't really remember, but 63 points and 3/4. And people need to understand what Kobe did. I think he had 60 and 3/4 another time or something like that, something close to it. But you just got to understand, this dude scored all the time in levels that you would expect from guys that are bigger than him, that shoot better than him. You know what I mean? Like he would put up really, really, really dominating scoring numbers all the time. The game was different back then. Less offensive weapons around him, more offensive, you know, kind of catered to letting guys do whatever they want by themselves. It's a different league back then. But he would have nights where he would go for 50 and then 50 the next night and then 50 the next night, and do that for like 3 weeks, 2 weeks. You know, scoring numbers that you would be impressed by from anybody. He was exceeding those scoring numbers back then. You know, that's what people need to be aware of. Your favorite record of players, you know, the longest 50-game winning streak, he has it, if I'm not mistaken. If it's not him, it's Wilt Chamberlain, and then him. Like, you know, 2 games in a row where he had almost 60 points or something like that. Stuff like that he just used to do all the time. His discipline on the court in real time was legendary, and of course it was stemmed by that work ethic that we all know about. That would have it so that he would be working out, you know, with only 1 hour increments of breaks between like 5 and 6 hour workout periods. Like, and would go to sleep for like 2 hours and get up and do it again. Like, that's the type of mentality and the type of, you know, resistance that he had built up within himself that allowed him to be better than everybody basically ever. So, you know, I always look at Kobe Bryant as somebody who was extremely talented, but he took that extreme level of talent and he expanded it and reached its highest potential. You know what I mean? He stretched that thing out to the max. Because there have been guys who have been more talented, but they haven't been more willful, and they certainly did not have that work ethic and that toughness and that obsessiveness to be able to keep that work ethic for long periods of time and still display the greatness and keep their bodies fresh. I don't know how he did it. I really don't. Especially with nutrition being different as it is and things of that nature, it should be easier for guys to do what it is that he did now than it was back then. I remember a time when he was playing in Sacramento, he had went to a restaurant, and I don't know if it was done on purpose or not, but as a child, I believed it was. He got poisoned. Like he had food poisoning, and it required him to have IVs, and he was losing weight during a playoff series. Like the man was losing weight against the Sacramento Kings in a way that was not healthy because of that sickness. In a matter of several days, he had lost like 8 or 9 pounds. It was like one of the things where you see a guy on a Tuesday and he looks a certain way, and then you see him the next Tuesday and he's lost like 15 pounds. And it was one of those. And still played, and we won the series. Like, that's the type this is what he was on. That's the type of dude he was. You know what I mean? People don't really understand. Like, we talk about some of the worst things, when he went through what he went through in Denver, and then had to come back at halftime because of the case taking place that day. He came back, played the game, won the game at the buzzer. How many athletes even play that game? Let's just be honest. I don't think it's too many people that are even going to come home to play that game in that circumstance. So a lot of guys, they're not even going to be playing at all. They're not going to be on the court. You know what I mean? It's not going to be a situation where they're flying home and this. No. But Kobe understood what his responsibility was to the team, and even though he was facing what was going on, he still managed to put on that uniform and display the greatness that he had in him no matter what was going on. Could have been the toughest of circumstances, whatever. He's going to make sure he beats his opponent if the ball's in his hands. And that's exactly what he did at the buzzer. One of the toughest days there was for him, he was winning shots for the Lakers. So that's what it is, man. That's the character of the work ethic. That's the dedication of the man. And that's what it is that I look back on a lot of the time and say, I don't know who else would be able to do what he did. I don't know who else could have that type of mental toughness. I don't know who else finds so much solitude in the game to help get away from things that are that real, and then can transition out of the game, leave it all behind, and still maintain. It's just, the dedication and the mindset of the man. And that's why I think he should still be studied. Everything that he was about should still be remembered. All of the things that we talked about in regards to Kobe Bryant should still be discussed, because that work ethic should be mastered by future athletes. That desire, that belief in the art, the duality of being able to maximize your money potential and maximize your talent potential is there for us to see in the example of Kobe Bean Bryant. And so that's what I like to say there. That's exactly what's on my mind. I think all in all, he gave us 20 years of Laker basketball. As a fan, I started watching the Lakers right before he got there. The year before he arrived was the year I started becoming a diehard, watch everyday fan. And it was a pleasure, Absolutely, it was an honor to watch him do what he does, to see him grow up, to see him get drafted, and then to see him get traded to the Lakers and the whole nine, all the way until Mamba out. I got a chance to see the whole thing. There was maybe 2 seasons where I didn't focus in as much as I should have, and that's because we were either not very good or because I had a job that required me to be at work at those hours. That's 2 years out of 20. I was able to watch them all. And so that's just something that I am just very happy to say that I lived through. I'm old enough. I was born just at the right time to be that kind of guy, to have watched Kobe Bryant's whole career and have that be basically my fandom in the NBA. You know what I mean? That's basically how it went for me growing up. So, yeah, this is an important day, man. This is an important day. We celebrate Kobe Bryant. We celebrate his family as well. We think about the lost in the crash as well. We think about Gigi, of course, number 2. And I don't know if it ever gets any easier. I reflect on what happened when I found out he passed. I was at work. and I was running on fumes after that. I don't really remember really any solid thoughts at all. After getting the news, I was just talking to my niece. I had just had a very tough week behind me, because I had just buried another niece of mine the previous night. The previous night, I was driving back from a funeral. I was at a funeral the night before he passed, and it was one of those situations where it was just a very, 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 very tough day. I don't want to get into some of the stuff that happened. It's just not the greatest of energy in terms of my little experience that day, and then ultimately how it happened. I'll give you another video on that, but I will say that it was a lot of spiritual vibes surrounding me that morning that were not great, and that alluded to something really bad taking place. And when it did, I was not unprepared for bad news, unfortunately. It was one of those type of things. And so, I just think about how it was driving home. I think about the news that night. I don't think I thought solid thoughts. That's the best way I know how to describe it. It was like a family member had lost their life, and I was not quite coherent. I know I made it home. I'm thankful I made it home, you know what I'm saying? But driving home, I don't remember. I didn't drink anything. I didn't smoke anything. I was at work and I came home. But I'm telling you, it was as if my mind was inebriated, because I do not remember the process. I just know that I got home safely and there was no incidents. But it's one of those type of situations, man. I just, you get that like in the 4th hour of your work shift, and after that, people are asking you to do stuff, and I don't think I did a single thing I was supposed to do in the right way. I was just running around, just trying to maintain thought. You know what I mean? So that's what Kobe meant to me, man. That's what the tough news did to me. But I've taken so much of what Kobe Bryant did in life and have kept it with me in my mind. And I went and bought myself a Kobe jersey, the number 8 old school. You know what I'm saying? A replica. And you know what I mean? I just celebrate the guy, man. I celebrate the man, celebrate the player, celebrate the family. You know what I mean? And just continue to send good wishes their way, man. What can I say? I'm so happy to see Nani in college. She's at USC now. Congratulations to her. And the little ones are getting bigger, and they're smiling. They look like they're happy. They're filled with his happiness and his energy. And Vanessa's just done a wonderful job of keeping his dignity, and maintaining what it is that we would want to see. You know what I mean? Which is not her responsibility to anybody, but nevertheless just a testament to her character. You know what I mean? And how she's been able to stand firm on the fact that she's not letting people disrespect the victims in that situation. She's not letting people disrespect her child or her husband. If they want to assume that it's okay to do so, then she has not only herself, but a support system that will be ready to rock. You know what I mean? And Kobe left behind a great legacy for his family. You know what I mean? An amazing legacy for his family, for his children, for those to come after him. For Laker Nation as well, for those in sports who follow him, players like Jason Tatum and Kyrie Irving and James Harden and Anthony Davis and LeBron James, all of these different people who loved Kobe Bryant. You know what I mean? Not only as a player, but as a human being. His friends like Carmelo Anthony, you know what I mean? Rip Hamilton. I think about the people that loved him, you know what I mean? T-Mac, Byron Scott, Powell. All these people, you know what I mean? That's what I think about when I think about Kobe Bryant. Because a lot of times people want to say Kobe early on, oh, he was mercurial, he didn't have any friends. Oh, he hated Shaq. Shaq loved him. Shaq's kids love him. You know what I'm saying? Stop that. We're not going to do that. I remember when they used to say nobody wanted to play with Kobe. Oh, they're trying to stay away from Kobe. Oh, everybody wants to. If they wanted to stay away from Kobe, it's because they understood that his light was going to outshine them no matter what. They understood that if they came here and they didn't play up to his standards, even if they were his friend or even if they were up to his level, he was going to hold them accountable. And you know what? A lot of them guys, they said, didn't want to play with Kobe. They were trying to get here. They wanted to play here. I think about a guy like Allen Iverson who loved Kobe. I don't know that he wanted to play here, but every time I hear Allen Iverson speak of Kobe, it's like he look at Kobe like we look at Iverson. You know what I'm saying? That's real. You know, I think about guys who appreciated him, even though they had their battles. Guys like Rajah Bell and Reggie Miller, who now have great things to say about Kobe, even though they battled with him. Or guys like Matt Barnes and Metta World Peace, who went to battle with Kobe Bryant, but he loved the way they battled, so he brought them in and won with them and believed in them. And that's the type of thing, you know what I mean? I think about all of that. I think about Derek Fisher, the guy who Kobe Bryant won 5 NBA championships next to him as his backcourt running mate. Not enough credence is given to Derek Fisher's contributions to Lakers championship lore. And I do believe that it's very obvious to see we didn't win a single one without Derek Fisher. Kobe Bryant is our backcourt. So these are the type of things that I think about, man. When I think about Kobe Bryant, I think about Lamar Odom, his relationship there. You know what I mean? I think about all of the old teammates, man. All of the folks that loved him. You know what I mean? Robert Horry, our guys from left end, Rick Fox. You know what I mean? All of these people still have great things to say about Kobe Bean Bryant, man. So the narrative that he didn't have friends, or that people didn't want to play with him, or that he pushed people away, all that good stuff, let's just acknowledge that the Kobe Bryant that we remember has people that sing his praises all over the world, like myself, and personal friends that can let us know of the character of the man on a real level. They speak of him as well. So I just want to make that very clear. That's what I have to say about the particular thing. So that's what I got, man. It's Kobe Day. I don't know if I'm going to make another Kobe Bryant video. I'm not really certain. But I just want to show you guys my Kobe because this is what it is, man. You know, that's what it's all about, man. This is it. We got a lot of respect and love for Kobe Bryant in this household. I think I got another jersey in here too. If I can just grab it. It's the Black Hollywood Knights jersey. It's in here as well. I don't know where it's at, but if I see it within the next couple seconds, I'll grab that for you too. But it's one of those situations where, man, we love Kobe Bean Bryant in this household. We love the Bryant family, and we want them to know beyond a shadow of a doubt that we're in their corner going forward in regards to all things justice for the victims there. That's for sure. We are rolling with that. Can't quite find my Hollywood Knights jersey, but if I do another video, I might just toss it on to show you guys how serious I am about Kobe Day. But that is what it is, man. Kobe Bean Bryant Day. Happy birthday, Kobe. We love you, man. Rest in peace. My name is BDF44. I thank you all for watching.